Is this on? Hi, how you doing? I don't know if I was supposed to take this guy's mic or not, but what?
It's a good idea.
Oh, cool. What are we doing? You'll never find it. It's over at Faulty Towers down the street.
Where is Miss Linda? Where's she on the road? I know, she should be here.
We're missing Linda.
Yeah, we need Linda. Don't we?
Linda.
Is this a Dragon Ball panel? Do we need Linda?
So, until Linda gets here, we will discuss string theory.
I've seen string, he's right.
Have him removed. That's true, strings aren't real.
Let's talk about yarn theory.
I have people who do that for me at home. I never go into my own yard.
Yarn theory. String theory goes right into yarn theory. Yard theory is right out.
I like yard theory.
Yard theory. I believe there's a yard out there. But that's just my hypothesis. We'll do an experiment where we go outside and see if there's a yard.
Here she's coming right now.
Yay! If you don't understand us, it's because we're from America. We don't understand us.
Get up
Land
here,
of Trump.
Linda.
Any Trump supporters in the room, by the way?
What's the truth?
You do not worship our grand orange overlord? Huh. But all the Dragon Ball people should. Look at the orange in here.
Hello, hello. Welcome, Linda. All right. Now we are a complete family.
Should we introduce ourselves?
A little mini family.
Well, I mean, I know there's posters behind us, but should we introduce ourselves?
I can't see.
My name is...
Pastor Miracle.
I'm Monica. Hi! I'm assuming that you guys know what we do, so I'm just going to say my name. Who are you?
I'm Sean Schimmel. No, I wouldn't do that to you. I'm Eric Vale, and I play trucks. Oh, yeah, give me that one. Oh, yeah, that's wireless. Here, we'll do the wireless.
I'm Chris Sabat. And I play Sean Schimmel.
I'm Linda Young. Good to see y'all. Hope you have a really fun time. Hi guys, I'm Stephanie Nadolny. So good to be here. Thank you.
So is this a Q&A? Is that what's happening here? All right.
Did you get to go to the mic?
No.
Yes. Oh no, it's not. Once you get a mic in front of us, it's like you're gonna have to like pulling teeth. No. Come on, this is yours.
Oh, no. So, no.
Is there a format for this?
No, just go for it.
Oh, there's not?
Give it up for John.
Yeah, let's get busy.
John's
All
our
right,
MC.
idiots!
So you're our MC, but you gave us the mic, so
I'm retired.
he's retired. Okay.
All right, so this one that's pointing at the audience?
Ask the questions so people come down.
Oh, they don't need that mic. We'll take it. They're okay. Who's got the first question? Somebody from the back of the room. From the back of the room. That guy. Ask a question. See, we can hear him fine. So it's things that swim in the ocean,
Yes, and they're giant.
right? Of course I know.
Yeah, we need.
All right,
More mics.
I played Koro Sensei. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you do not ask a question, in my class, we start here. He has to ask a question, he has to ask a question, he has a question. Everyone has to ask a question.
So if you feel sorry for shy people and you feel heroic, raise your hand now and ask a question. You.
Monica, Eric, and Sonny, you're from My Hero Academia, which is very ship heavy. Who do you shoot your characters with the most?
I have a good answer for this. I am a grown-up. The idea that the 43-year-old man who has a 25-year-old kid in grad school and an 11-year-old special needs child and a very wonderful wife at home with also a special needs dog and the best cat on earth, and I work full-time and I have to travel around the world, that I would take any of my time to go, which character in that anime would look super hot with another character? Dude, I'm worried about paying my mortgage.
That being said, I'm a 53-year-old grandfather, and I ship present Mike with Yuri Kotsky from Yuri on Ice.
I don't think that's how it works. I've never thought about Suyu shipping anyone. I mean, there's already enough vulgar comments because she's a frog girl and she's got a really long tongue. I don't really need to go into the shipping.
I may have just changed my mind.
Oh, yeah. Me too, actually.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Do we have any other questions about long tongues? Yeah.
Shush!
It's not about long tongues. The question was, Eric, when you heard you were playing Future Trunks again, how did you feel?
A little warm.
I mean, I know you played him in the games, but how was it playing back in canon?
It was good. It was about time, you know, because everybody else been working on the show, and truth be told, like it's not like anyone ever came to me and said, "Hey, you're going to be playing Future Trunks again." In fact, no one ever said that. Ever. What happened was they started working on Super, and everyone's like, "Hey, Eric, Trunks comes back in Super." I was like, "Oh, cool." And then, like, a few years later, my agent calls, and she's like, "They need you for 4 hours on Dragon Ball Super?" "Oh, so I guess we're starting. Okay." "All right, thanks for all the fanfare, guys." And then I ran into a problem at Funimation because and I don't understand, like, marketing stuff up at Funimation. It's not my job. My job's an actor. But the marketing department at Funimation had an issue because they had a plan to announce me as coming back to play Future Trunks on Super. And then Toonami, I guess what they called, scooped them and made their own trailer announcing me before Funimation had a chance to. So Funimation just didn't bother. And I was out of town, and I didn't know what was going on, and I'm like, what's happening here? So it was really lackluster, you know? So to compensate for that, I go to conventions and talk to you guys who make me feel a whole lot better about it. Thank you.
They didn't announce that Krillin was going to be back.
So are you guys, do you have a lot of pranks on each other during, like, filming, you know, and stuff like that? Have you done voice recording and maybe altered the script a little bit for a bit of a laugh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we drop bombs all the time.
Constantly.
The problem is we drop so many bombs, like, every day, we can't remember them because it's just life. You know? Do you remember any of your bombs?
No.
I can't. Do you guys remember bombs you've dropped?
I never do any.
What?
At least not on purpose.
You do all the time.
I do them all the time, but I don't remember it.
I can't even remember ones you did when I directed you, but they were good.
Yeah.
They were funny.
fun.
Oh, you should have been there. It was great. Awesome.
I've heard several of yours recently, so you do them.
There was one in Super where my character, when he comes, I don't know when, but he goes back into the future and he finds Mai, and he like, it's the animation in that show is like weird sometimes. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, Trunks is running towards Mai, like to say, "Finally, I see you again," or whatever. And he trips on the way and just keeps talking. And I'm like, and so I rewrote the whole line about Trunks talking to Mai about how, "Hey, did you check out how I just tripped back there? That was crazy, right? Oh, it's good to see you again. Okay, great." So it's stuff like that where we just kind of make fun of the animation a little bit.
Although Sabbath, he does. Like, Sabbath is usually, he's the last guy to record, usually because he's so busy. But he lucks out because by the time he records, everybody's already in there, and then he gets to like put in jokes that we didn't even realize were coming, like the whole "oh yeah, let's go see Yamcha" line. Like, that was totally Sabbath. That was not in the script.
So that's a whole different topic, though. Just ad-libbing that sticks with the script. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Can we get water? Does anyone to get water here?
To be fair, that is mostly backwash.
That does look like backwash.
You can borrow mine.
Can I?
You can borrow it.
I have to return it? I've got this much left. You can have that much. I want from here to here.
He'll return it in about 4 hours, and it'll be a little yellow.
Yeah.
Drink it all.
No, it'd be all yellow, yeah. Any other questions?
Look at that.
How about you in the front row?
How in advance do you know, like, when you get new animes? So, like, when you learn you get in Dragon Ball Super to do, how, like, much time did they give you to sort of plan and prepare for that?
None.
None at all.
Cool.
I've been called in the same day where they're like, "Hey, we need you here by 3 p.m. or we're going to have to recast you." Like, well, then you're going to have to recast me. You know? So it's a really, really quick business.
Yeah, and you don't get to see the script or anything. You just go in, see it for the first time. That's it.
But especially now with the simuldubs and stuff, you know, since Funimation does all these simuldubs, which if you guys don't know what that term means, I'm going to pretend this isn't happening. They're so sweet.
It's one of my favorites.
The simuldubs mean that it's on air in Japan, and 2 weeks later it is dubbed and up on Funimation's site. So the simuldubs, that means we have no clue. Like, literally, they'll just say, "Hey, come in for 4 hours, and if you can't do it every week, then we're going to have to use somebody else." So, yay.
Yeah, with YouTube and stuff, we've been able to see some bootleg stuff on certain shows. But back in the day, we had no clue. Like, sometimes we were writing anime from the Mexican version.
Yeah. That's where we started.
Yeah. Because that was the only version we could get. And we would get someone to translate it for us from Spanish. And, yeah. So, yeah, it's usually cold reading. So if you want to be voice actors, learn how to read cold.
Yeah. Be actors.
All right, who's next?
Be prepared. Yeah, be prepared.
My question's for Wendy.
Yes?
By far, you're the best freezing voice actor.
Oh, thank you.
Can you do for me the best freezing impression?
Okay, what line? Do you have any line you like a lot?
You've got 5 minutes.
Saying monkeys.
What did you say before you blew up Krillin?
I don't. Oh.
Bon voyage,
Oh. Wait, didn't I say "Pop Goes the Weasel"?
Yes.
Pop goes the weasel.
That was. I hated saying that. That was horrible.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
That's
my
very
goodness.
nice.
What did I get?
I got limonata.
Zenzu.
With mint infusion?
Wow. Oh, it's got fancy tops on it. I love it.
Blood orange.
Pomegranate.
I got bloody orange.
That's how appropriate. Bloody orange.
Has a good bouquet.
Aromatherapy.
It's rather lemony.
I know, there's a top on it.
We don't have little covers on our stuff.
Fancy. Hey.
Keeps it
Yeah.
clean.
Have you ever noticed how much like funk? Like we don't have these little covers.
I know you have to
Yeah,
And
there's
it's in there. You got to wash it because who knows
rat poop.
who's.
After you take a drink, do you put it back on to save it for later?
You can, I guess.
Yeah.
It's foil.
Look how clean that is.
I know.
Sweet.
I like that.
Cheers.
So,
Barney Miller.
would you say that this panel ran off the rails when we started talking?
All right, so
Pick somebody.
Monica, you seem to work with Jamie Marshall quite a lot in several different animes. So my question to all of you is, being a voice actor you've enjoyed working with the most, or had the most fun with, or?
Well, it's kind of weird because when we record individually. So I feel like the people that we have the best chemistry with are usually the people that we're actually friends with. For instance, if I'm doing a show and I know Eric is playing opposite me, well, I've known Eric such a long time and we're such good friends, I can automatically think about how he's going to read things, and so it just automatically makes the scene better. So for me, you know, people that I work the best with or I enjoy working opposite of the most are my friends. So I have a great time with these guys. Sabbath and I are opposite each other in so many things, which you would never think because he's got like very deep voice. But yeah, we play opposite each other in so many things. So yeah, anybody that I'm close friends with, like definitely Jamie, definitely Sabbath. What about you guys? Who's the people that you like working with the most?
You.
I'm the same way as Monica, you know, just because you're in the booth by yourself, you never really work with someone else. But when you hear that familiar voice, you know, is doing another character, then it makes you feel more comfortable and you just do a better job, you know, just as if you were in the room acting with someone. But really, you're all alone in the booth. It's very sad.
It is very weird, and it's funny to talk to Japanese voice actors because they're always so freaked out that we do it by ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, you're alone in a booth? What?
And also they don't understand English, so they don't know what we're saying.
Although, one Japanese businessman on tour at Funimation said to me, you know, in my country, you would be like a superstar with entourage. Here, not so much.
That's true.
But as far as people I like to work with, well, no one on this stage, but Ian Sinclair is definitely one of my favorite people to play off of. I'm sorry. I had to tell you sometime.
That's Weiss for all of you.
What about you, Steph?
Oh yeah, I mean anybody that you know you just enjoy working with. I mean, like you said, you're in the booth by yourself, but like just different directors. My personal favorite was Chris Kaysen, but he's moved away, and it's been a long time since I've worked with him. And then with my other part of my career, I'm a singer, so I like to work with my favorite musicians, which actually are like my friends as well. So I have my own band now, so those are my favorite people to work with. You know, because you just have this chemistry and you've worked together for so many years, and you just, you know, you bond and you blend and, you know, you sing together and you're making this amazing, you know, music together, you know, and it's all at the same moment. And so it's just magical. So, yeah. But this is great for us because we get to be together and we're doing all of this in the same place at the same time. So this is really fun for me. See, some of these guys I haven't worked with in a long time. So I'm really honored and blessed to be here. This is greatness.
It's good seeing you again.
Thank you. You too. Much love. Mwah.
They had to go to England to see her.
Yeah, we had to go all the way to England to be able to hang out together again.
Who back there? You back there? Yeah.
They're having their own panel over here.
Don't mind them. Just stand up and ask your question.
That was, just so you guys know, I think I just said the worst thing a human can say to me. And I'm not telling you, so don't.
She'll get her voice back for a while.
What's your question? Yeah.
What?
What do you?
You know what I enjoy the most about voice acting? That you don't have to care how you look when you go to the booth. You can just wear your jeans and t-shirt and be real comfy. But also it's just
playing other characters and just so quickly. Like, I do a lot of small characters now. They call me in for different things. I never know what I'm going to do. So when I get there, it's just a surprise. And it's just fun because it's so casual and relaxed. And sometimes I play a crazy old woman. And sometimes I play just, you know, a sweet old lady or whatever. And it's just fun. I guess I like everything about it.
It's a challenge. It's like, what are we going to do today? Show up and find out, dive in.
Yeah, it's a lot of acting in the moment too, because it's when you voice act like for dubs, you're trying to match the mouth flaps on the screen. So it's like puppeteering, except that the screen is the puppeteer and you're the puppet. Yeah. And you got to let yourself go and react to that screen and be totally in the moment. So it's a blast. It's a roller coaster ride.
Yourself, puppet.
I'm the puppet.
You've got a new nickname.
Sonny Puppet Strait.
Sonny Puppet.
What?
What do you like the most about it?
What do I like the most about voice acting?
The money.
Yeah, the sweet cash that just keeps rolling in. I bathe in 20s.
Oh, yeah, 20s.
That's right.
I bathe in quarters.
Right.
Pennies. I'm just kidding.
That's why you smell weird.
Yeah, the pennies.
I like being able to make a living doing what I love. And I'm fortunate enough that I do. I get to act all the time. But, you know, it's a job. It's like every other job. So sometimes I have good days, sometimes I have bad days. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's busy. But for the most part...
Sometimes he sleeps in the booth. I've seen that happen.
I have slept in the booth.
He's like, how long do we start? Oh, another 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have a hard life. I had a friend of mine recently, I was talking to him about what my life is and what it's like and all this stuff. As I said a second ago, I'm a father of a special needs child. That's a challenge. We homeschool her. I've got a kid in grad school and all this other kind of stuff. And then I chose this freelance job, which has no security to it whatsoever, as my career. So I get to do that. And this buddy of mine looks at me and he goes, "Man, when you were picking your life, you chose hard mode." Everything else is boring, man.
You?
Yeah, I like the challenges. I like that, you know, depending on the day, even commercially too. Sometimes you go in and you have no idea. They want you to be the mom. They want you to be the kid. They want you to, and Funimation especially, like, I think that there are days that I go in there and it's like, you go from booth to booth to booth and you're, okay, be this grandma. Okay, now I'll be this grandpa. Okay, now I'll be this cat. And I'll be this child. And it's like, oh, okay, sure.
That's my favorite kind of days when you go to Funimation and you go from like 3 or 4 different booths and it's just 3 or 4 different, completely different characters. That's what's fun about it.
Oh, look, we got all these. You've been holding your hand up for a long time.
What top tip would you guys give the people in this room that are aspiring to be voice actors?
Get on a stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, acting, however you can, you know, whether community acting, church plays.
There's a guy named Sonny Strait in the States. He teaches voice acting, so I recommend him highly.
Puppet.
The puppet, you can learn puppet theater from me.
Practice your voices. Listen to them. Record them. Listen back. Listen to how you sound. I've been recording my voice on a tape recorder since I was 8 years old, and I was just obsessed with it. I had no idea that I was going to be a voice actor someday, but you learn. You know, you can mimic. And it's just fun. Oh, the flaps. Am I matching the flaps correctly?
This is a good time, good as time as any to pimp my YouTube channel. I have a brand new YouTube channel where I'm talking about voice acting and tips and tricks and how to be a voice actor and all that kind of stuff. So that was actually my first video because I was like, hey, for all the people that want to know. So I don't have a spiffy new name yet because it's really brand new, but if you look up my name on YouTube, I'm sure it'll pop up.
I have one tip that I think helps a lot. Is if you just turn on the TV and you turn on, or what do you call it here? But TV, they call it the TV. Okay, so you just turn on the TV and listen to whatever program you like, and just right after they say the line, say it right after them. And just keep doing that. Hear a line, say it right after, and just keep saying each line, and pretty soon you'll be like, yeah, it works.
Well, what Eric was saying too, if you get a lot of theater training,
yes.
Most of our best actors come from theater. So
Because when you're in a booth, you don't have an audience, right? But if you have years of theater training, you know how to say something to get a reaction out of people. And that comes in really handy when you're just you and the director who's trying not to laugh so it doesn't ruin your take.
And you know how to become a character.
That's true, too. You know how to immerse yourself into another person.
That's important. That's what...
Is that your come on line?
That's his puppet line.
Can I immerse myself into you?
Pull your strings.
All right, who's next? Let's go in the back. No, the other guy standing up with his hand in the air.
What villain from Dragon Ball?
Vegeta.
Yeah.
I'd be Boo, right?
No, he's not.
Somebody's got some daddy issues.
I'd be Boo. I'd be Boo.
I have to agree. I think Boo is like the winner because he gets to eat all the sweet treats and turn people.
And you get
into
to talk
food.
like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah. That's fun. Yeah. It's hard for me to be a villain though, because I'm like always want to be nice. But that would be a challenge, you know. I know when I was in plays growing up, I remember the theater, I was in Sleeping Beauty, and then the next year they did Alice in Wonderland, and they were like, you are going to go from Sleeping Beauty to Alice in Wonderland, and you're going to be the Queen of Hearts. We were going to force you to learn how to be mean, so I had to be the Queen of Hearts. Off with it! You know, it was so hard, but it's a challenge, so.
Oh, talking about forcing to be mean, when I first started doing Frieza, Chris Sabat said I wasn't mean enough, you know? Chris, yeah. Yes, he says, you just need to be meaner. And he knew I was going through a terrible divorce. And he said, just picture everyone that you're fighting as your ex-husband. So I started doing that. And I started getting meaner and meaner. And plus it was therapy. So it was really great.
Get it all out of your
Voice acting
system.
is therapy.
It is.
Yeah, you do a lot of screaming.
Oh, yeah.
The primal scream therapy for Dragon Ball Z.
Get it
And
out.
One Piece.
Oh my god. It's the
Who
worst.
likes screaming?
So Sonny asked if I scream a lot with my character in One Piece, and I play Sanji in One Piece. And the problem with Sanji lately, especially, is that he doesn't not scream.
Right.
It's everything is screamed constantly, and it's all dialogue screaming. And like, so it's different. Like you scream as Trunks through a power up or something, and
Right.
it's you know, that kind of stuff, and that's not actually that difficult because it's just noise, right? But when you have to verbalize things through a scream, it's exhausting. I come home at the end of a Sanji session way more tired than after a Dragon Ball session.
Yeah, same with me with Usopp.
Because Krillin talks like this, and I can do that all day long, right? But if you add that hitch that Usopp has in his voice and the volume he tends to speak, hey, Luffy, I know you're standing right next to me. How are you?
It really wears on your voice.
That is how my son talks at home.
Oh, really?
I don't know what's going on.
Hi, Dad!
I'm like, I am right next to you! It's 8 in the morning!
But my wife and daughter do that too. My wife and daughter wear headphones all day while they work on their Etsy shops, so they don't hear each other's entertainment, and they have their own shop together. So I'll come in like, hi, how's everything? Whoa! Why are you guys screaming?
Stop yelling at us. Yeah. Stop yelling.
Yes. Oh, sorry. This is for Linda. I
Okay.
got absolutely devastated when you couldn't reprise your role in Dragon Ball Super.
What?
If you could make my life, would you please say? Sorry, let me just write them in.
Okay.
I thought you were pointing to somebody else. Sorry. Can you please say this may be cheap, but call me Golden Freezer?
This may be cheap.
Cheap, but call me Golden Freezer.
This may be cheap, but call me Golden Freezer.
Hey, my husband's back there. You got a question?
He's like, is this what you do?
Yeah, he's like, is this what you do?
That's his question.
Okay, whose question? Who's got it?
So do you guys have like a favorite voice line from your Dragon Ball characters? Like, is there a voice line that sticks in your head the most, where you're like, like Bulma, that voice line goes into my head? Like,
I have one because it's the one I always remembered the voice by. When I first started doing the voice, I got a line in my head that I would always remember it, and it's, "Your mindless dribble is beginning to bore me. Any last words before you go the way of the dojo?"
Hey, Frieza! Here's your target!
Pop goes the weasel.
Very good.
I think my favorite, have you guys seen Battle of Gods? I hope so. Okay. Yay! So, you know, Bulma's birthday party, and these two alien creatures, at the time we think anyway, come down, and it's Beerus and Whis, and Vegeta's freaking out because Bulma's like trying to chat him up, and she's a little drunk. And so he's like, "Don't worry, it's my friends. Go back to the party." And so she turns around to the rest of the party and she goes, "Hey, you guys! Vegeta has friends." And like laughs as she's walking back. But the best part was that Sabat was standing there because he was directing the movie, and I got to say it right into his eye.
And that's great because Chris Sabat, he has no friends.
Regular session.
Chris has no friends. Monica's swag.
Another day in the life.
do you have a favorite line, Eric? Like, would you have a favorite line?
No. It's not that I don't have a favorite line. It's that everything moves so fast. I just don't. I'm not very smart, so I don't retain a lot.
I have a favorite line you've said. I have a favorite Eric line.
Oh, good.
When we first started doing tours and signing together, people would go, "Do a line from the show, do a line from the show." And he'd always said the same one. "You're about to see what it's like to face a real Super Saiyan." Yeah. I heard that so many times. And mine was, "Mondo cool," just over and over and over.
You're about to find out what it's like to fight a real Super Saiyan. And I'm not talking about Goku. Hey,
I had most of my favorite lines were from when I played Goku in Dragon Ball because he was just so slapstick funny and so innocent, and just some of the ones that I like the best is like when he was talking to, I guess, let's see, Mike McFarlane played the role of, what's that guy?
Yajirobe?
No,
Master Roshi?
Master Roshi, and he was always like, go get me a girl, you know, and he was always asking
Really?
Goku. Yeah.
Fix me my porn!
Yeah. Not give me one of these girls. And so he'd come in and go, "Yoo-hoo, Master Roshi, there's a girl downstairs." And then that, and when he walked out of the bathroom, and of course it stinks, and like Goku's like, "You're stinky." So, you know, just little Goku lines were my favorite. Just so innocent and cute. So, yeah. Stupid fun. Love it.
You had your hand up.
What's your view on Team 4-Star's view of Dragon Ball?
What? The abridged.
Oh, what is this?
Team 4-Star.
Oh,
What is that? What is that?
The abridged one.
What is that?
I think it's funny.
I know what it is.
I think it's fun. The things I've seen, I just thought I cracked up.
Krillin own count's hilarious.
I don't watch the Team 4-Star stuff, but I do like.
Is that because you're an adult again? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm a grown up, so I watch things like children's shows.
Right.
I'm not kidding. No, I like Team 4-Star. I like what they do. I don't watch it mainly because it's just not the kind of stuff I watch, you know. But I like what they did, because what they did is before Super and all the movies, these guys took this property that was loved by so many people and made fun of it in a nice way, and kind of took something that was fading and made it relevant again.
Yeah.
And I respect that and appreciate that, and
Kept it alive.
it kept it alive. You know, I think Team 4-Star, at least what they were doing, had a hand in regenerating it, the support of the show enough to get the movies made, therefore to get Super made, and you know, to boot, they're actually really nice, very talented guys.
Yeah. They have their own studio now.
Yep.
They're, I think they're getting their own anime to dub. And if they do, we should get our own show that parodies their show. We call it F Team 4-Star, and then we just like parody all the shows they produce.
Oh my God! Yes. Okay.
It doesn't go any further than this room.
No,
You're all in on it.
That's
we'll sign
right.
a non-disclosure agreement before you leave.
Right. Everyone who's watching this on YouTube right now, y'all, it's a secret.
What?
What? Question. So, have you ever met any voice actors that play the same characters as you in other languages? And what do you think of their versions?
Okay, I've met Mr. Nakao. You know, he plays Japanese Frieza, and he plays all different parts. But he is the nicest, kindest man, and every time I see him, he brings me gifts. He is so nice, and we do we'll do like a panel together, and even though we don't even understand each other, we'll have a translator, but we sort of understand each other just by our motions and everything, and we become close friends. And he said to me, I wish you played every part I play. I know. So I love him. And he always brings his daughter. She's so sweet. And now she brings me gifts. It's like, oh, and they're sweet gifts. So I really like them a lot. You have anyone?
I haven't met anybody in person. One of the cons I was supposed to go to last April was at one, so I missed that opportunity for the Japanese Goku, Gohan, all of them. Goku, Gohan, Goten. But I did manage to become friends with Saffron Henderson, who played little Gohan and Goku, and we're friends on Facebook. So I kind of follow her, and just kind of, off and on check in and see how she's doing. And she's beautiful. She has a family and little kids, but I haven't met any of them face to face, I guess.
Closest I met Akane-san, who directed Escaflowne, and I had directed Escaflowne a couple of years ago. And he was on the panel with me, and at one point, because we did a screening first, and he said through an interpreter that I was sitting there going, when did Vaughn and Hintomi learn how to speak English? And I was like, that was a very nice thing for him to say. But his interpreter came up to me after the panel and said, Akane-san wants me to tell you that he wasn't just, saying that for the panel. He really thinks you did a wonderful job. And I was like, now that is a huge feather I will always keep. Yeah.
I met the guy who plays Sanji in Japan, right? And I don't think he likes me very much. It didn't seem like he liked me very much. And I wasn't sure why. But he seemed nice.
But not to you.
But not to me. Yeah, maybe. It was funny.
I've met one counterpart, which you would think I go to enough conventions that I would have met one out of 500 or whatever. But I met one, and it was from a show called Girl Power. It was like a little OVA that came out years and years and years ago. But we both played the mute. So it was like, hi, and then it was a whole lot of just squeaking at each other. Like back and forth, because that's all we did. And we're like, okay, well, that was fun.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, you go first.
Yeah. What do you like the most about acting your One Piece roles?
Going home?
I can tell you what I like the worst. I play Tashigi, and I have to yell Roronoa Zoro all the time, especially while she's running. I'll get you, Roronoa. It's awful.
What I like about all of the One Piece characters is like, especially Usopp, you'd think is a just comedic relief, and yet he's so deep, and all the characters have such rich histories. and they all get a chance to be emotional. And do you remember the scene when Usopp had the money stolen from him and he's crying and angry at the same time? Well, at that moment, tears were coming down my face when I was recording it. That's never happened in 20 years. And I went, okay, this is my favorite character now. It actually moved me. So that's what I like about it.
The thing I like most about Sanji is that he's a cook, I'm a cook, and I'm pretty sure I'm better than him. Mostly because he's not real, but that's it.
I know I'm a better artist than Usopp, although he's pretty good. He did the flag.
I'm not picking. I'm not doing it anymore.
Okay. Yes. What's the hardest thing about being a voice actor?
The hardest thing? Strain?
Strain on the voice. I'm screaming and yelling for hours and hours and hours and weeks of fun time.
And having to go in when you're sick, because I had to do that last week. That was not fun.
You got to things have to come out on time, so if you're sick, sometimes you have to come in anyway.
Tear your throat up a little bit. Just heal it up, sleep, lots of water, get better.
A friend of mine's a vocal coach, and when I first got Usopp, she was saying, okay, if it's a really bad thing, what you need to do is warm up, then you record him, and then wait 4 hours and warm up again. And I said, oh, okay, that sounds good. She says, well, what does the voice sound like? I went, oh, it's something like this. And she goes, don't do that voice. And I said, I've got to do that voice. She goes, really? She says, okay, then don't talk for a whole day after you do it. Yeah.
I like a burrito supreme and some nachos. Extra onions. Did you hear me?
More questions?
Do any of you are any of you up to date with Dragon Ball Super? And if you are, do you think it's going to end, or do you not watch it?
I don't watch ahead of time.
No,
I know you can, but I don't. Nope. I like to be surprised and live in the moment.
Yeah, I think most of us as actors like to be, like to see it as it happens. I do know that people like to come up to me and go, "You're never gonna guess," and so I know a lot of what's gonna happen in the future. But at the same time, I think most of us like to be surprised.
Occasionally, I read manga from animes that I'm in. Like I read Full Metal Alchemist just to get an idea of what Hughes was like and everything. But he's actually was more fully fleshed out in the TV version. How long does the panel go on?
Yep.
Like forever?
I'm just kidding.
It's never gonna end.
You want to say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You get a mic.
I get a mic again. So, guys, I'd like to give a round of applause for our guests.
That was a terrible ending. Let's just take one more question, just so we don't end that way. Okay, but you have to fight for it. You against you go against you. Then we'll pair up the winners from those two. Then you two will take the winners from that. All right, what is your question there?
My question is, actually, do you want to stand up or sit down?
Stand up.
Stand up. No, sit down. Sit down. You're right. You were right the first time.
No stand.
No, stand up. Stand up. Please stand up. No. Sit back down. It's better. All right, anybody else have a question? That was good, thank you. No, I'm kidding. What's your question? Stand up.
Just want to know is, in your experience in Dragon Ball, what was your favorite moment as a character or looking at the show, or perhaps Dragon Ball Z, or both Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, sit down. What was that question the little boy had? What's your question? Good question. That's a good question.
Why? I've asked myself that many times. No, I think because Frieza is a little insecure. So, Frieza tries to be so evil and so mean just to control everybody. But really inside, because I remember one time when Frieza died, Frieza was just crying and so pitiful. Yeah, of course. I know. Yeah, you really are a deep thinker there. You think about those characters. But one time, Christopher Sabat and I did a commercial as Vegeta and Frieza, and they made friends, and they went to go get a Coke together. It was a, it was just a, what are those announcements that are just...
Bumpers.
I'm not sure, but it was a while back, and I reminded Chris of that last time. He goes, oh, that's right, we were friends for a while. So Frieza was nice then, for one little commercial.
He wasn't feeling insecure that day. That was a much better question to end on, I think. Here you go.
Yeah.
On behalf of everyone, I want to say thank you guys for coming here today. I know myself and everyone in the crowd, you're a big part of our childhood, and want to say thank you.
Thank you
so much for having us.
Coming hard.
So coming up in a moment is the autos and photo session. I'll give you guys a few minutes break. So guys, thank you ever so much for being being patient for the day. I apologise. Hello? Oh, there we go. I apologise that we are running a bit behind, but we are trying to catch up with that. So thank you for that, guys, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Signs are going to be on the stage, so if you start making a queue along that wall, it's probably better. Are you waiting for Sharpies?